Hi, it's Jamie from an Oregon cottage where you'll find simple whole food recipes, doable gardening tips, and easy DIYs. So freezing corn is really my absolute favorite way to preserve corn. There are 3 ways. I did a test a few years ago and to try to find out what the best way to freeze corn was, and this is up on the blog that you can see. And what I found was it's not really cut and dried because there's different ways that you use each one. So I kind of actually preserve corn all 3 of these ways when I'm freezing it because you use them in different ways. So the first way is the absolute easiest, and you just take, I've cut them in half so they'll be easier to fit in the bag, and they're easier for us. We usually eat half an ear of corn, but you can even leave them whole and freeze them completely whole. So all your work is just in taking the husks off. So all you need is a gallon-sized freezer bag, and you'll want to write on it before because you'll want to know what date you did. So obviously it's corn, but sometimes things in the freezer don't, so I always label it, and then definitely the date, the month and the year, so you know how long it's been in there. Frozen corn on the cob usually lasts about a year, so when you look in your freezer and you see that something is from last year, you want to start to use it up. And you want to get most of the air out as you're doing it, kind of bend it down, and then I use the trick of using a straw, and I just close up as much of the freezer bag as you can and then suck out the air. Some people use seal meals, and if you have one, feel free to use it. This just works for me. So that was the first way, whole on the corn. You can process a lot of corn that way, super easy. Okay, the second way is also using uncooked corn, and you cut it off the cobs, and I like to freeze it in 2-cup measures. So again, you want to write on your bag before, and I always say if it's uncooked or cooked corn because I use them differently. So what I found when I did that test was that the corn that was raw is good for recipes that you're going to cook the corn in, but we didn't like it for things like salads, and I like to be able to have corn just, I can thaw it and throw it in like a black bean salad or something like that, a salsa, something that's just easy. And I found that I like to have both cooked corn and uncooked corn in the freezer. So again, it's the same way where you get as much air out as you can, which there's not a lot left in there, but if you just take the straw and you get as much out as you can, you'll have that much less out, and you can press it down and it'll be ready. It also stores really nice. Finally, it's cooked corn. You can freeze cooked corn the same way, and you can either blanch this yourself for a few minutes when you've got a bunch you're going to do, or you can serve corn one night and then the next day you can cut off what's left over, and that becomes your cooked corn for your freezer. And as you can see, cooked corn cuts off the cob much cleaner and nicer than raw corn. It does not fly everywhere and get all over every place. So you just want to cut it off and put it in your bag. Again, I think a couple of ears or 2 cups is good. And oh, I forgot to. So you want to mark that it's cooked corn, and the month and the year. Okay, so you just do it again with the getting out the air and using the straw, and that is 3 ways to freeze corn. So you freeze it cooked, raw, or on the cob, all different ways. We tend to do most of it cooked. I have some bags raw, and then a few corn on the cob for some time in the winter when we'd like to pretend it's summertime.